My check 1 2 1 2. Excuse me, kitty. We're gonna have to share. Hi. Hello. How y'all doing? Welcome to my video or podcast or whatever. Can you move? So, welcome to my show, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a mug. I'm about to spill so much tea. This is my show now. So, anyway, yeah, I have a lot of tea to spill. And for everyone that is ready for the tea, get excited. And for everyone that has made content about the Montauk project in I don't know, the past 6 months to a year, be scared. Because I've been here. Because everyone's saying things like, I don't know, it's crazy, isn't it so weird that the government removes everything? I've searched everything. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. Sorry, puppy. And it's really annoying that anything, you're not going to find anything new except for this video right here. The only person who might even possibly have any new information. But no one's finding anything new out. So it's the same thing with the rest of the internet. Well, most of it. There are some gems out here, myself included. Weird girls will save the internet from AI. I'll get into that later, maybe, if I remember. Where was I even? Anyway, yeah, this is my show, and you're just gonna have to watch it, boys. You're gonna have to finally listen to me. Anyway, it's really frustrating, though, to be, really the past 6 months to a year, anytime it comes up, I'm excited and I mention something, you could at least, like the comment, that would be, a little acknowledgement. So, anyway, I hope you feel stupid, and I hope I succeed in making them look stupid. Because, yeah, you're not getting any new information, but what I do notice happening is, just, getting more creative with, your shit talk is, I don't know, it's kind of embarrassing at this point. I get it, that everyone's, strapped for, video ideas, right? And they're, pulling stuff out of their asses to just, appease the YouTube gods, whatever you gotta do to pay the bills, I guess. But I don't know. Don't call yourself a journalist when you make videos about stuff that I've been trying to. Do you know what I mean? You intentionally skip over new information, or just, I don't know. It's just a lot of shit talking. The other day, my kiddo and I heard there was a new one. I was told about the Montauk project. I rarely watch any documentary or anything on it, by the way. So if people expect me to yeah, when this guy said this, who? I don't know who they are, because I don't watch that shit. Hey, listen, mommy's making a video. See, I'm getting distracted, because you guys are so stupid. No, but really, it's, you run out of ideas, so then, I don't know, you feel the more snappier and, the more, it's just, this whole pseudo-intellectual bullshit. Stop. And then it turns into it's not even about who knows the most. It's who can be the most sassy and one up the other guy and call them stupid. No one's getting smarter at this rate if you keep doing this stupid shit. Oh yeah, anyway, so I tried to watch one the other day with my kid who's 15. Maybe get a little info on what people think of his grandfather. Just a reminder, hi, there's families, people are no, there's families, still alive that I would prefer you guys shut the hell up if you're not gonna include my input. Stuff that like shits on my dad's entire legacy, and he was a smart guy. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Hi, I'm Heather. Welcome. So yeah, my dad, George Dixon, is the alleged creator of the chair, the consciousness boosting psychic chair. I knew Duncan and Preston growing up, like in the flesh. I was very young. I mean, I was born in '88, but my dad was a stay-at-home dad for the most part. And he had. I hope that's not too loud, honey. We can't have this too loud. This is Darla, by the way. Hey. But yeah, my dad was a stay-at-home. And he had Tuesday night meetings where he had like his groupies would come and like, I call them his groupies. The Tuesday night meetings, the Tinfoil Hat Society. They're cute and sweet, in a sweet turtle way. Cute, you know what I mean? Baby turtle cute. Someone said that to me once. They're like, when you say I'm cute, do you mean like cute I want to date you, or cute like a baby turtle? They were baby turtle cute. Kind of annoying. Like conspiracy bros tend to be. But yeah, Peter Moon or Vincent I have it written down on my phone. Loser. I don't know him. Really though, I don't. And my dad had like a lot, like I said, a lot of admirers. Like he was a very smart guy. He was very wise. He was very, the tism was, he had the good memory kind. Do you know what I mean? He knew a lot of stuff. His funeral, his wake went on for hours. Because, you know, speaking of the tism stuff, you know those like nerdy tism autistic guys that like, people just in general don't know when to like start to wrap it up, you know, when they're talking too long. But like it's a funeral, you know? So it went on for a long time. It was very sweet. My dad had a lot of friends with a lot of things to say. Peter Moon, I don't know him. He's not one of them. And you know, it's crazy. One of the only things like about my dad, if you search the name, is this fucking psycho crazy thing by this woman who calls him like the Montauk girl or something. I don't know who she is. Who's this? I don't know her. And I'd seen it before and I was like, oh yeah, one of the crazy, because that's the thing, like the Montauk Project has always attracted crazies, right? And my dad was always the one to like set it straight. Like he was really good at like, all right. I'm very much like him. All right. But like he didn't make you feel like a dick about it. Not me. I will. But, you know, he was a compassionate, understanding, emotionally intelligent, I'd say. It's kind of backwards, because, like, me and my dad both got a lot of slack by, my mom was a crazy narcissist. She raised her 2 other daughters to be just like her. And, like, I don't know. I'm just tired of, like, creative, brilliant people getting the blunt of, like, everything by not emotionally, I was gonna say emotionally unintelligent people like Peter Moon. I'm just calling him Vinny. Like Vinny, my mom, like that will like craft an entire narrative and try really hard to put everything they can into that narrative, so that if people, you know, disagree, they sound crazy. But it's 2025 and consciousness is shifting because people know what the fuck is up now. That's another, like, I'm just so tired of like this like pseudo intellectual bullshit and people just arguing because they want to seem right. Like there is a right, and it's just so dumb. Like there's no consciousness shift. First of all, you haven't been alive long enough to know what the hell you're talking about. I was thinking yesterday, maybe it's because I look so young. Maybe that's why, like, people think I'm around their age and that, like, I'm gonna use their, like, lingo when I'm in their world and I'm, like, the same societal expectations. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying I look that young, but I did just turn 37. Happy birthday to me. And I remember when it was not as cool to be queer. Like, it was not, like, I was bullied mercilessly for a lot of shit. Having blue hair being one of them. No one bats an eye at blue hair. It wasn't like if someone's boyfriend was cheating on them, you would call the girl a homewrecker. It wasn't like, you know, it's the man. No, things are so different now than they were like 20 years ago, 10 years ago. Society, like, we're learning. We are. But when some, like, 22-year-old comes on here, it's like, there is no consciousness shift. Like I said, you're not old enough to have, like, I've been following this consciously, like, with my brain, mindfully, looking out for signs of consciousness shifting since I was 15 years old. So, I don't know, like, 2002, 2003. Because I did grow up with that. My dad was, you know, I keep saying a smart guy, but Peter Moon seemed determined to make sure that even after his death, any fucking traces are make him look crazy. And it's just, tell me there's no consciousness shift, and, like, you read it, tell me, like, it's clear who is fucking crazy. You know what I mean? But 10, 20 years ago, people weren't thinking on that level. People weren't using words like vibration and synchronicity. And if they did, you'd probably assume they needed to go to the psych ward. So things are shifting. Thank you very much. Sorry, but not sorry. Because, like, I'm taking my throne back. Like, no. Don't talk about the Montauk project. Unless you're going to include me now. Because you're going to look stupid. Anyway, I gotta stop blabbing. I don't know. How long has it been now? Oh shit, I've been blabbing a while. Anyway, I made a list this time. I love this. Yeah, I've been blabbing a while, and I can, because it's my show. You know how many, like, I'm sorry, but not sorry, loser podcast? Like, come on, guys, find another topic. But, I don't know, I just get the feeling that they were like, I don't know, maybe if she passes our tests of whether or not, like, we think she's reputable, smart enough, believable, maybe guys, maybe we'll invite her on the podcast. Get the fuck out of here. You're gonna have to pay me to get me on your show now. For the exposure. Like I said, I'm 37. I haven't worked in a few years because I can't, because I'm sick, because I'm disabled. But before that, again, oh, it must be nice. It must be nice not to work. Are you fucking serious right now? Shut up. Don't ever say that again. Moving on. Before that, I worked myself to the bone. And yes, the glass ceiling is real. Because why did I bust my ass? And I was in line for this one promotion that everyone thought I was gonna get. I was being congratulated because I was there the longest. I worked the hardest. I knew these buildings like the back. I knew the business so well. But no, you know what happened? The guy called in his old buddy from another store they'd worked at and brought him in. He outsourced it. Should have been my job. I've been pretty since then. Listen, don't work in phone business. Like, I worked in Cricket and I worked at AT&T. Anything with commission. Anyway, what I was getting to is, you can't fucking get me with that, oh, it's free exposure. No free labor. No free labor. In fact, if anyone references this video and what you learn, you better be linking back to it. or you're gonna be in trouble. I don't do no free labor no more. In fact, I used to live stream. That's how I got this mic. Until it was shut down because of a stalker who DDoSed me and then showed up to my home. And then I had to get a restraining order. But before that, every single day, you only get views because you're a girl. You only get views because you have tits. The last week I was streaming, I was trying out on Kick, whatever. And I was doing pretty well. And then this one guy like popped in to my stream, and I was watching roller derby. We were watching roller derby, which usually I would do like gaming content, but I was switching it up. So I sat back for a second, and I was like, yeah, let me check out this guy's page, because he was like, you know, mention he's a streamer too. Don't do that. Nobody cares. Anyway, he mentions the streamer, so I said, oh, let me check out his page. He was streaming me. He was streaming my face, my screen, the roller derby I helped. I get it. That was a really great idea. Everyone loves to see, you know, roller derby and women going around beating each other up for fun and like in hot pants. That was a good idea. Think of it yourself. Pull up your own roller derby channel. Oh, why? Because I'm a girl? And you wouldn't get views? So you took my whole screen? I'm not kidding. This guy was live streaming me in real time. And then another thing, his whole setup, it was like, okay, you definitely bought this. You definitely bought these followers. Like, this is not real. Like, maybe 3 of your followers are real. And like, I worked my ass up from the bottom. I live streamed in a motel while we were homeless from a fucking 2015 MacBook. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You only get views because you're a girl. I don't want to hear it. If anyone wants me on their podcast, it better come with a financial offer. Okay. There's another few minutes I'm blabbing. Let me get to it. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic. Peter. Don't worry, I'm going to get to as much as I can. I know you got a lot of questions, but if you have any that I didn't answer, go ahead and drop them down below. And if you're a girl, if you're a woman, ask me whatever you want. I'll just answer it. And for you boys, I'm shitting on you. All right. So, Peter, 1. Yeah, it's just bullshit. Where's my phone? Let me pull up these goddamn screenshots. I was thinking about working with him. I'm not done with my book. I know. I'm wrapping it up. And by the way, I'm actually a writer. I'm not grifting, but I will be the last grifter because I think it's my birthright to be able to talk about this. But this is like my own work. I'm adding in a chapter for you guys to finally solve the Montauk chapter, but I don't need to. The book exists just fine without it. I'm just putting it out there. Because I am a writer and I am an artist, and it's almost done. But also it might be bigger. It was gonna be 250 pages, but I think might be 300. So I mean, that's not a bad thing, right? It's only getting better and juicier. Hold on. Blabbing, which I can do because it's my show. All right. Let me pull these screenshots up of freaking Peter. I did make a video about it. I don't want to talk too much about it because, like, I never even planned. I never planned in a million years that I would be here talking about the Montauk project, being the one who can debunk it. Never would have thought. Never. This was my dad's weird thing with his friend. Like this, never in a million years did I think people would know about it. So thank you, Stranger Things. I'm very grateful. Like I'm an artist. I don't need Stranger Things to be able to make art, but it does help. 1, 2, I think I've earned it. 3, I think I deserve it. And 4, God loves me. So why not? All right. So I don't know why I took a screenshot of this. Honestly, I was like kind of starstruck for a second because Peter Moon was messaging me. Can you believe that? Oh, I took a screenshot. So it just says, "Hi Heather, I'm in LA right now. I remember you. Are you still living upstate?" I was trying to message him. He is too good to talk to anybody. I don't like content. I had to chase this down. This is the last. Don't ever make me chase down a man ever again. Why am I doing this? Like, this was right here in front of your nose, guys. It's right here. You needed a woman to do it. It's okay. So there's that. I forgot what was above this one. Oh yeah. So the way I finally got him to talk is on his Facebook page. I was like, is he like, maybe he's just not online? So I checked through his Facebook and I noticed that he has like recently posted. So I'm like, okay, well he's active. And then I scrolled a little further back and I saw another guy talking about like a Montauk group. And it said must have been feeling how I was feeling. He said, "Hey Peter, I'm having trouble getting in touch with you. I'm not sure, why you haven't reached out, but I've tried, blah, blah, blah. Just wanted to know." Like, he was ghosting everybody that he deems he's not in the mood to talk to them. I don't know what the hell. Some audacity though on this one. Some audacity. So I'd asked the guy, I was like, "Montauk group, what's this? Like, by the way, I'm Heather, my dad, blah, 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 Montauk." Peter jumps in now. Now he's active online. "I wasn't talking to you, Peter. I was talking to your buddy," but... So he responded, and like I said, I might be able to find it, like what was above this one, but what I screenshotted is me responding, "So, my father wasn't comfortable with it, so this group was a way around it. Gotta be honest, Peter, I don't exactly love the sound of that." It's so out of touch? So out of touch. Response. Peter Moon, "He was very uncomfortable with it to the point where he didn't want it discussed. This was a formal meeting. Therefore, I jetted in from psychotronics, as most of them were Montaukians." Shut the fuck up. "Who were under the influence." This is all in his little brain. His teeny tiny little brain. This is him. This is what he thinks. George, however, would waver back and forth. By the end of... If you guys have ever heard mansplaining and you're not quite sure what women are talking about, imagine you were in my position here. You had lived pretty much at home until your father died. There was never a point in your own life that you were not living in the same house where your father was living. And we were pretty close. George, however, at the end of his life, when I saw him last upstate, he was much more about at ease at all. Most of those people were not able to see out of the Montauk fog. Shut the fuck. He's too much. George could see the fog for sure, but he was very disturbed by his experiences there. Is this a joke? So you want to know what mansplaining is? This man just explained my father's personality and how he was at the end of his life. When I lived with... I know how he was at the end of his life. So, yeah. They were at the Long Island, whatever, for Psychotronics Association, whatever it was. And I'm guessing... Here's the thing. Is it bullshit? Yes. However... And this is why men are not allowed to talk about this anymore. Also, what are y'all doing dabbling in the craft? I'm sorry, because it's consciousness and because it's like, astral projection. Is it like witchcraft for boys? Moving on. See, now I lost where I was. Fucking men. Men. Not all men. My son's good kid. His dad's pretty cool. Listen, I live in a bubble. I'll say God has kept me in a bubble because I go through my life and my vibration attracts the coolest, always like smartest, autistic, and loving, like real, genuinely caring men. A lot of you would not know what that looks like. And if you want to get in on this consciousness shift and like honestly evolution, you need to watch that ego. You gotta watch that ego. No, really though, it's so annoying. The other day, there was the stuff at Egypt, right? And I'll get into what I actually believe about it in a second. But it doesn't fucking matter because we're never gonna get past of like Anunnaki in Egypt and like the craziest, you know, conspiracy theories over here. And then in response to that, this pseudo-intellectual bullshit where it's like immediately, no thought, immediately shutting everything down. No one is using their brains anymore. Excuse me. So there's a thing called nuance in this world. And I would like to introduce a lot of you to it. Here's what I think about the pyramids. Alright, so we use quartz, like, to power watches, right? So, like, we know stone, the idea of stones and energy and being energy transmitter is really not crazy, is it? No, it's not. Yeah, personally, I'm a musician. I know that music is a very powerful thing. And I know, so apparently there's this thing, like, how it moves through, like the wind or whatever, however something moves through, and it creates an F-sharp chord. I used to play not used to play, I used to have one, and then I sold it. It had a harp, like a little harp. They called the harp the instrument of the fairies because when the wind blows through it, it plays on its own. Because like the way the hollow, the box, the wind goes through it, it makes a sound on its own. So why is it that fucking crazy to think of that same thing happening in a pyramid? And yeah, I mean, you'd imagine it would have some kind of significance. And then, like, even if people were to admit that, they'd be like, well, who's to say it's significant? That's stupid. I don't know. But clearly they had something going on. So it's worth investigating. Don't you think? You know, like, people are so fucking afraid to look stupid that they don't know what wonder is. They don't know what curiosity is anymore. It's just Google it. And even then, it's a good chance you're wrong because now everything's AI. So haha. Everybody writing all these books, that pisses me off too as an artist. Stop writing books with AI. You're gonna look stupid once everything you wrote about is like wrong. And all right, moving on. Peter. Dunzo. Oh, did I wrap up that part of the story? Yeah, so what basically is, I think whatever happened was between like my dad, Duncan, and Preston. I think it was some kind of astral thing, gonna be honest. Other people might be able to talk more about that. We'll get into it later if I have time. Today. If not today, eventually. But my dad, like, I take him seriously. Like, he wasn't there was something significant. But he also didn't want to talk about it. Also during that time, you know, this is the 80s. Cocaine was a hell of a drug. I know for a fact my dad had a drinking problem. I mean, what if, like, you had, you know, you woke up and you had, what is it? I don't know, like a hangover. You're not really sure. You're not exactly sure what went on. But your friend told whatever happened that went on, and then his friend was like, you know what? We're gonna write a book. You'd be pretty embarrassed too. Right? Right? You'd be like, let's not talk about that. But no, Peter Moon is calling people Montaukians. And telling people all this crazy shit so that the only thing that exists about my father on the internet is fucking wackadoodle crazy woohoo crazy shit. And anyone that knew him will tell you that he was a very smart man. And he was a very well-respected man. So with all due respect, Peter Moon, Vincent, with all due respect, fuck you. Okay. All right, now we can move on. Yeah. We said, fuck you, Vincent. Preston, I wouldn't have thought, like, oh, that's a pervert, but, like, once you know, you're like, yeah, no, that's a pervert. I wouldn't say the whole thing was made up for his perverted thing. Like I said, I do think some of it came from something, about him, though. He didn't write that fucking book. He did not write that book. He was so rambly and incoherent at times, and, like, you knew that he was a genius. Like, he was very smart. You could tell that about him. Absolutely zero social skills. Zero. You know the thing. Peter writing, you know, just so you know, not everything in here is true. Some of it's fiction. Yeah, he said that to cover his ass and say whatever the fuck he wanted. Excuse my French. Excuse my French. Astaghfirullah. By the way, do you know that's haram? You shouldn't put fiction and nonfiction together. That's not fair to the human spirit. You're gonna trick people? Plus, we all come from the same source. Are you tricking yourself? You're just running in circles. Don't do that. All right. Preston, he smelled like dust and, like, old clothes. Kind of like, I don't know how you... Like an AV club. Is that still a thing? He had a lot of tech stuff that you knew he knew how to do stuff with it. Oh, hey, baby. But, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't call him and my dad friends, but I do remember him being around every once in a while. Usually, we would have these huge parties in the summer. He definitely came to a few of those. Again, Peter Moon, don't know ya. And I knew Preston more, like, and my dad and Preston weren't even friends. Like, they weren't, but I remember him. I remember the way he smelled. I don't know you. And if he did, like, I might have, there's a chance that he was around, but, like, he wasn't significant enough for me to put a memory, like a face to a name. So, you're done. Peter, done. Preston, done. Duncan, he was an interesting guy. Very blonde. I don't know why I remember that about him. There's just, like, this, like, lightness to him. But even, like, physically, it was, like, pale. He was nice. I remember him showing me a yo-yo trick once. I think my dad was on the phone or something. And, like, you know, there's, like, an awkward moment, like, where, like, you're there with your friend's kid and, like, you know. And he, like, showed me a yo-yo trick. He's a nice guy. And whenever that Philadelphia stuff, I don't know. Again... I kind of get the same, like I say about my dad, like, I can't say that nothing happened. Something definitely did. And same with Duncan. I don't know. I'm going to tell you, though, he had a believable energy. Call me crazy. Call me woo-woo. What? I don't give a fuck. I don't care what your opinion is on me, on the Montauk Project, on anything, okay? I'm telling you about the people that I knew as a child and what I think of them, based on, honestly, the answers that you want to know. So, you're welcome for that. You're welcome. But I didn't see Duncan as much. He was more popular, though. Also, I think he might have gotten swept up with the like, 'cause he had his own fame in his own way. They all kind of did. Except for my dad, because he kept his name out of everything. Purposely. But he still attracted his, you know, his little groupies. So, if that says anything, you know, it's something, I aspire to be like that. What was I about to say? It just slipped my mind. It was important about that, though. Something, but the meeting. Duncan. I don't know. It'll come back to me. Stewart. Who? Okay. Just, like, this is beyond, like, my dad's weird, like, groupie friends. This is, like, their weird groupie friends who are definitely that guy needs a lot of help. And I feel so good to say that. You know how many times I was told that when I was young? You need help. No, actually, I you know how much in my life I've spent in therapy, if you were to like calculate it? I have a degree in human service, it's baby social work. Y'all need help. No, thank you. You could find someone else. I'm out of network. Christopher Garantano, I don't like him. He reached out around the time my dad died, and I think he'd like reached out and interviewed my dad too. He wanted me to have him on his show. The Beyond the whatever it's called. It's gotten bigger over the years. I think it's died down now. Screw you, Christopher. You invited me on the show and then ghosted me, and then like he's also impossible to get a hold of. He's too good to like have a normal message. He's too famous. He's too famous. Grifter. All of them. I think it's so cute that they all get together and they wonder who the grifters are while being fucking grifters. Losers. Get a life. Moving on. Hate that guy. I really... I'll be like... You guys, again, this is one of those things you might know more of the details. This is just me, like, my dad's names, my dad's friends. I think they were close. I don't know, like, they were friends. And there's something, my dad used to give me this lore, this Moody Blues lore. And I didn't know it was directly from Al Bielek. So, if this gives you an idea of, like, how I was raised and how, like, my dad, like, fed me ideas. Because, you know, like, anyway... Apparently, Al Bielek was telling people that like he was Pleiadian and he was the son of Justin Hayward from the Moody Blues. That's crazy, but I don't know. Again, I love a past life regression, and I can tell you we can talk about past lives. We will in the future. But here's how my dad brought up the connect with Moody Blues and Pleiades. He loved the Moody Blues. I love the Moody Blues. We saw them live, I think, twice together, and I've seen them 4 times, I think, total by myself. Like, 1, I know that's a big claim, but 2, have you listened to the Moody Blues? But my dad used to say it like, you know, they say that Justin from the Moody Blues, the lead singer, is Pleiadian, alien from the Pleiades. He used to get a little woo and tell stories, and he would like tell the same thing over and over. I don't know how many times he's told me that Justin Hayward has been rumored to be Pleiadian, but it's like every time he told me, I loved it because he'd be like, you know. So you know, like that's. You know, nothing, don't put everything black and white. Life's supposed to be a mystery, and if you were to figure it out, then it wouldn't be a mystery, would it? Exactly. I'll be like. Also, perception. Consciousness. If you were to time travel, it's not that out of the question, really. It's not. That's not that crazy to believe and discuss. But if you were to time travel, question, where you going? Because if we live in a multiverse and every decision you make creates a new and parallel reality, who's to say that like you're traveling in those same lines of your reality? So, do I think it's possible? Sure. Do I spend time talking about it? No. I like it here. I like the way time progresses in my own life. I'm very in sync with my own life, and I'm very excited. I wouldn't have come here if there was no time. All right, where was I next? Oh yeah, I'm gonna get to the past life stuff though, and alien. We can get into aliens. Some of you guys are so dickish about it. And like I was saying, if you want to keep a tiny mind forever and just like argue anything that seems a little out there, if you want to like just argue that you're right. I don't know. Are you ever gonna learn anything? Like, what does it feel like at the top of that hill, knowing everything? Does it get lonely? I would imagine. Must suck to know everything. Except not for me. I love knowing everything. Okay. Oh, that's crisp. Oh. Okay. I'm going here. I'm rambling. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get through it all today. I do. Oh, here we go. Here's the do I believe in? Because I'm sure people will ask. Remote viewing. Yes, actually, that is the time travel. It's just remote viewing. But like we have just went over multiverse. Who's to say you're viewing into the same reality? Like, and therefore nothing can't be measured anyway. But especially if it's like apples to oranges now, so you can't compare that apple to this apple here because now it's an orange. Do you know what I mean? Only smart people get that. Boys, I know it'll take some time, just use your noggin. Yeah, remote viewing, time travel, past lives, yes. It's not that crazy. A couple years ago, I accidentally started beef with this guy on like Witch Talk. No, I'm sorry, it's a they, them, or she, they. Big mistake. Riot Adams. Apparently this person is known to like just cause a lot of drama. But I randomly scrolling through TikTok and I see this person like, you weren't a witch in your past life. You were probably and he's just like shitting. I'm gonna shut up there, but again, not everybody even belongs in the craft, in these circles. You cannot be trusted with this information because it's wisdom, and when people who can't properly hold that, I'm rambling, but no, this person really pissed me off. Why not? Let her believe she was a witch in her past. Why not? What were you? Were you the grand hoo-ha of past life gift? Like, how the hell do you know? Just don't be an asshole. Anyway, if energy can't be like deleted, right? Or like it just like changes, right? Then yeah, we've all been living tons of lives. It's just us. The same with star seeds. Because if there is intelligent life in the universe, and it is true that we are all just the same energy, just warping around and put in new places, new bodies, experiencing, then why wouldn't it make sense that maybe at one point you were from the Pleiades and at one point you were from here? Why wouldn't that make sense? I think it's always been that it's just us. Like, it's just us. And it's always been just us. All right. See? Keep an open mind. You don't have to be right about everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, some things you could be like, I don't know, but I think something like this, and I think that would be pretty cool. Like, we don't need to be like, fucking, the internet's ruining our brains, kids. I swear to God. Here's another watching consciousness shift, and I'm gonna say this, and you guys are old enough now to get it. I was really disappointed in Gen Z. Puppy, I hope that's not too loud. She's playing with something. And I can't blame you guys. It's not your fault. You can't blame people for the way they were raised, right? But we had a lot of hope in you. Puppy, I hope that's not too loud. I was in a movie once. I promise they're related. The movie was called Bullied. Not Bully Beat Down, but Bullied in 2011, 2012 by MTV or MTV Global. And it was a documentary, and it was people all over the world where like we filmed our own experiences. And I'd been headhunted on YouTube. Believe it or not, I've been all over the internet, on and off, over the years. I'm not an influencer. I don't want to be. I'm a writer. But I can build somewhat of a small, like, you know, audience. Anyway, but yeah, I was asked to be a part of this movie because I had randomly one day just decided to tell my story because back then, Gen Z was very small at the time, and it was just like a culture-wide thing. We were very anti-bully. Like the whole country was the whole world felt very anti-bully, and there was a lot of hope, and there was a lot of light. And I was like, no, these kids are loving. These kids are good. You know. Little did I know. All right, puppy, come on. Thank you. That you'd be like the meanest people on the planet. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? So that was disappointing. But I can't blame you. I do blame people like Dan Schneider, that pervert. That era of kids TV was very like this stuff that I see like happening in science, the science world online. Like, yeah, well, if you think you're so right, yeah, well, I could tell your underwear shit. Like, it's so fucking stupid. So I blame that shit for how you guys grew up and suddenly you make jokes about cyberbullying. What's going on? What's going on? Another thing? Retard. Stop fucking saying it. Stop fucking saying it. Being edgy it's like so embarrassing. Guys. Because here's the thing. You don't get to reclaim that word. No, because you're autistic. No, you don't get to reclaim that. Because it wasn't yours. Because the people who do have mental retardation cannot grasp the nuance of that joke of you calling yourself retarded. They don't understand. They can't understand the joke. You're punching down. It's a really bad look. Don't do it. I'm glad we had that talk. Okay. It's almost an hour long, guys. Oh my god, I have to rush this up. Okay, yeah, Palladian. I'll be like, Anunnaki. Isn't that one of those stories? I think it like ultimately it ended up being really close to like a Star Trek episode. And though I do think weird synchronization does happen in this case, I don't know. However, I think it's totally plausible that like the Earth could have been seeded. There's so little we don't know. Whales. I fucking love whales. Recently, I don't know how I didn't know this. I feel like everyone knows it, and especially I should have known this because I love whales. I specifically love humpback whales. Did you know they evolved? So like everything evolved, like coming out of the ocean, right? They came out of the ocean. They kept evolving. They were like dog size, and then they were like cats. They've been like every type of creature. They've experienced being every kind of like creature, and then went back into the water and kept evolving. Light years ahead of us. They're so fucking smart. So like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't know. We really don't, and it's very plausible. It's like possible. It could have, yeah. Sure. Careful with biblical. Yeah, be careful. Like, I love archaeology. I love biblical study. You just, it's so easy to jump into that conspiracy stuff and be like, yeah, because they found evidence of this, and that the government doesn't want it up there, so clearly they must be hiding something. Don't jump to that right away. Careful. It's consciousness shift. Use brain. Science, good. Okay, science, good. Not everything conspiracy. Not everything. In fact, I think a lot of the times truth is stranger than fiction. Do you know what I mean? Shoot, we're really at almost like an hour now. I have a lot more I could say, like with the astral stuff. I did say I was going to get to it later. Let me wrap that up. We'll wrap it up with how I totally do believe it could be an astral thing. When I was younger, I was like 15, I think. and I came home and I was just smoking a shit ton of weed with my boyfriend. And I came in and my dad had this movie. His friend Noel was over and they were watching this movie that was so trippy. It was rotoscoping, like early rotoscoping. Oh my god, it was amazing. So I had to know, like, what was this movie? It's called Waking Life. Highly recommend it if you get a chance. Watch Waking Life by Richard Linklater. The whole thing is a dream. And in one of the scenes, the character learns how to lucid dream or become more aware of their dreams. And it's real life advice, like the advice the character gets you can do in real life. So like from that moment on, I was like, I wanna control my dreams. That's so cool. I love dreams. If a few people have asked me this. No, I can't astral travel consciously. No. I've never, anytime I've been lucid in a dream, I wake right up. I snap out of it. However, I'm a dreamer. I'm pretty good at interpreting it. I have them very, very frequently. And I don't think I'm supposed to leave my body, like, consciously. Like, something with this lifetime is like, because it's always freaked me out when I was younger. My dad had a meeting, one of his Tuesday night meetings, and somebody had brought pamphlets for like astral projecting, and I don't know why it like intrigued me so much, but it freaked me out. And I know it's like, I guess, a common fear of like getting lost from your body or whatever, and I know that's also like not possible. It wouldn't happen. You can't just like get lost forever. But here's the interesting thing. Like, oh yeah, also the dreaming. I dream so much. I have a sleep disorder. I call it narcolepsy light, but it's called idiopathic hypersomnia. Basically, the only difference is if I was dreaming more when I had that test, I would have had a narcolepsy diagnosis. So pretty much same thing. Narcoleptics and dreaming, crazy. Like, I have so many dreams as soon as I lay my head on the pillow. You're not supposed to dream for like 40 minutes. After you fall asleep, but me, sometimes it's like pretty immediate. I have a lot of dreams. I'm pretty good at interpreting them, but no, I don't. I'm not good at the astral stuff. But go look up this guy, Ubi and Doobie, and he has a video a few months ago of cool consciousness stuff that he can't explain. This guy is a former, I think, neurosurgeon. Brilliant. And just like his brain is powerful, like with this stuff. He's very good at it, and he's got no way. So go check it out. It's really good, fascinating stuff. We are like, there's so much more we can still learn about, like streaming science. We're still pretty clueless about it. I had this one phenomena of sleep, and I know other people have had it in a narcolepsy group in Facebook. We were talking about it, that's happened to people. It happened to me during my sleep tests. One of them, during like my nap test, I wasn't sure if I actually slept or not, because I did hear like what was going on around me, and at one point I heard sirens because I was in a hospital, and I heard people talking right outside my door, and I remember thinking, why are they fucking, they know there's a sleep test going on, right? Like, I was thinking this. I was asleep for every single test. So that's a phenomenon like people with narcolepsy have, where we're technically dreaming, but we could tell you what was going on in the room. Like, or people say like, no, the doctor said this and that, and then he walked out, and that happened. You shouldn't be aware of it if you're in REM sleep. You shouldn't be. So, you know what I mean? Like, we have so much to learn. Don't let fucking pseudoscience make... Hold on, puppy. I'm almost done, okay? I'm gonna wrap it up. Okay. Where was I? Oh, yeah, but the dream... So, they become more clear as I've, like, just over the years, you know, meditation, really consciousness work. Because I really have been doing that stuff my whole life. Focus on consciousness. I get better at like interpreting dreams. They become more clear. The last year, I've been very busy in my dreams, and I can't always remember them, but it's a new feeling. It's a new thing where I wake up and I'm like, I don't know what I was doing, but whatever it was, like, I was busy. Like, it was important. And one last thing. I got hate crimed almost 1 year ago, April 28th, 2024. I was beaten pretty bad. I needed 13 staples in my head. While all this happened, I did not have a near-death experience, but I did have an out-of-body experience. Hold on, puppy, a few minutes. She wants something under the couch. Hopefully you can't hear her whining. Anyway, for a moment while this was happening, I was getting beat by like 4 people. It was pretty bad. I heard, I don't know if it wasn't like I heard a voice. I didn't actually hear it, but I did. You know what? It was kind of like a dream. You're like, no, I heard the voice. And it said, stay with your body because you're getting hit pretty bad. And it was a man's voice. But like it was me, it was from me. I think, I don't know, maybe like maybe I do leave, probably definitely do definitely do leave my body a lot at night doing something like important. Something enough that like, I guess I'm used to consciously like bloop, bloop. Though they say we kind of all are when we dream, right? Anyway, it was just, I don't know if that's significant, but it could be. That's what I heard when I was getting the shit beat out of me. I like stepped back for a second and it's like I was like outside of myself, but not. And I heard, stay awake. Like stay with your body, stay awake. You gotta stay conscious because you're getting hit pretty bad. It was like, you know, in case I would have gone unconscious and then like let my body go, like I probably could have gotten hit worse because I was like less protecting myself. Hold on, puppy. All right, this has been about an hour. I hope you guys like my video. I hope it answered some questions for you. And if you have more, please drop them below. And I would love to answer it for you girls. And most of you guys. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Okay. Bye.